And this is Cece, and I am a tribe and nomad certified teacher. Huge shout out to our new tribe teachers. There was a whole, I believe it was a virtual training that we were fortunate enough to put on, and we had a handful of teachers that were able to get certified as tribe teachers as well. So that was really, really exciting, incredible that our my fellow tribe leaders were able to put that on successfully during this pandemic, and that the students felt really satisfied from it. So I will make sure and tag the tribe page that we have for the teachers so that you guys can see this video. Something one of the partners, one of the teachers asked me to talk about, and it's a really specific topic. My dog wants to come up. She has to sit in this tiny ass, I'm not gonna cuss, this tiny chair with me. She takes up like half of the chair. But so last week we talked about different types of yoga, more like different environments to do yoga, and it's sort of the experience I've had with those environments. And I said I was going to do a sequence off of that most likely and talk about the types of yoga philosophies that I've practiced. But instead, I want to talk about what one of my partners asked me to talk about. So the topic is yoga. I thought I had a more specific phrase. I guess it's because it's not just active duty yoga. It's yoga as sort of a leader in either a platoon or a company. Like how have I been able to incorporate yoga in my the different platoons that I've been able to lead. So I am currently in a new platoon. I just got moved to this company. My first day was Wednesday, so it is a little bit new as far as my experience in this platoon, but I do have a lot of experience. I had the opportunity to incorporate a lot of yoga in my last platoon, which was really, really great. So the way that I started off, because I did originally when I went into this company, I only had one platoon, and I didn't have a very easy time incorporating it, especially being a new lieutenant. There is your PSG, and I don't want to generalize, mine was not, it's just not a lot of people are on the yoga train, if you know what I mean. Like there's not the understanding of how it's beneficial, and it's kind of seen like a sham exercise, because they're like, oh, if you're not sweating, if you're not doing this and this, you're just stretching, then like that shouldn't be a whole practice. So I would say if you want to come in and sort of go with the grain a little bit, and not that you shouldn't incorporate yoga and it's not important, but you have to meet your organization where it is, and I found it was easier to kind of meet my platoon and the way they were doing things halfway. So I started off originally just teaching some of the warm-ups and cool-downs, so kind of an extension of the PRT or the RD at the end of an exercise, and doing just being the person that does the stretching. So, and it was a great way to meet everyone, to meet all the soldiers and everything. So that was a great opportunity. That was one way that I incorporated it, just to kind of gain trust. And as I gained trust, we started, I was able to, tweak the PT plan a little bit with my PSG, and talk about doing a yoga class that really builds strength, and really developing sort of the push-up through chaturanga. And we did a class. I was able to do a class and make it like once a month that was really strength building. So it was definitely a vinyasa class, slow vinyasa. So it was more about like holding like static poses, especially core building poses and lunges. So like warrior one and crescent lunge. So a lot of like powerful poses that are like static holds. And they really liked that class. But a thing just to, it's just part of the community. Haters are gonna hate. There's gonna be NCOs, possibly people that have done things a certain way for a long time and they're like, this is dumb, I hate yoga, I just want to run. And it just is what it is, you know, like everyone's not going to like you. Everyone's not going to think yoga is the best. And at the end of the day, the body keeps the score. So you've incorporated it, go with the grain. But if you do think it's best to have it in there once a month, once every other week, then that's your call as a leader. But yeah, so that really worked for me. And then once I got a couple more, I ended up having 3 platoons in that company. I was able to teach all the time because I was able to do 1 class per platoon per week. So that was really, I had a lot of time to teach, but it was only having, the platoon each was only doing 1 yoga class basically every month, or like every 3 or 4 weeks. So it wasn't that much for them, but I was grateful that I was able to teach yoga every single week with the soldiers, which is really awesome. But at the beginning, when I was first starting on, I didn't feel like I was teaching as much as I wanted to. I reached out to the P3T community, or program rather, so it's for the active duty pregnant soldiers. And the lower enlisted and maybe the NCOs, they have to be enrolled in this program. I don't think it's the same schedule because of COVID, but this was like back in January. And I was able to teach once a week, I believe, with them. And they can only do one of, they call it, these classes recreational for them. They can only do one of those a month. So I taught I would do a different trimester every week. So I'd always be teaching them, but I was also teaching a different trimester, which was fun to work with sort of my prenatal background in yoga, which I love prenatal yoga, and also kind of play with the different trimesters and the different classes and development that you need to do for that certain trimester. So that is kind of the way that is the experience I've had bringing it into a platoon environment. And I am in the logistics community, so I'm sure it's totally going to depend on sort of your platoon leadership, more like your NCO leadership. There's probably going to be some pushback with it. So just really communicating with them and just not making it like, hey, we're going to do this because I'm a yoga teacher, they've probably been there longer than you, and there needs to be some humility. So kind of meeting them halfway and then building trust, showing that it's actually helping, and seeing, if the soldiers like it, the soldiers are going to make their leadership aware that they like it. And if that happens, then, you'll have a little bit more leniency to do it a couple more times. But just be aware of your PT plan and what you guys need to get accomplished, and create sequences that actually help that. And not that you can't do the breathing and the different parts of yoga that aren't as physically based, but just incorporate those into those physical classes. Or if you want to have a class that's mere complete stretching, then maybe that only happens once a month, just because of the limited time there is to do physical activity and the importance of it, and also the high visibility of it. There's just a lot of elements there. So just be aware of that so you can work with your leadership and the experience around you. So that's the experience I have so far. I'm really excited to go into this next platoon and see what they're doing, what their PT plan is, and how I can start to put yoga into some of those spaces and see how it can be the most valuable. I love teaching physical yoga practice, but I think at this point in my teaching career, besides prenatal work, I really want to focus more on the breathing, the journaling, the workshops, which kind of shows in a lot of the tribe classes I've been teaching on, the workshops I've been teaching every week. They're much more lifestyle-based things, so that's kind of where I'm more focused. And I guess in the active duty world, it's kind of in line with the MRT training plan-ish. So that's kind of what I've been focusing on more. But we'll see how I can sort of plug in the physical practice, stretching, or possibly physical vinyasa classes in the PT plan. And sometimes I think it may just need to be a quick, before the workout or after the workout, where I can sort of start to put it in there. And that's fine. It doesn't need to be the whole class. Everyone needs to be focused on me. Everyone needs to be doing like yoga and building this practice. Like, it's a culture change to get the military to that place. So especially with the ACFT and these different things like weightlifting and really strength building and sprinting, like those are the things that everyone's like worried about developing. So there's sort of a panic, I'm sure, happening, especially as things start to clear up and the ACFT starts to become like a real, like this is happening. So just be aware of that. And not that yoga can't build those skills, but just you have to show how it's important and also kind of go with like find a way to add value to what the mission for the PT plan is already. So don't just completely like erase the whole thing. Like we're just gonna do yoga, blah 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 blah. Like just work with your people a little bit more and work with your mission set. So yeah, that's kind of my experience, and I'm excited to get back and see what opportunities there are for this next phase. But yeah, hopefully this was helpful for you guys, especially the teachers. I'll put it in the page that we have. And hopefully next week I'll be able to do a sequence off of the week before this one, talking more about the physical classes, or what am I talking about? The philosophies of yoga that I've been able to practice, or there's a better word for it. I don't know. I'm just going to say philosophy, the areas of yoga I've been able to practice, and where I kind of am right now, and what my experience has been with those, just to give you guys some tools. So yeah, hope everyone has a great night and a great weekend, and I will see you guys next week. And thank you for everyone watching. Remy, Buddy Boy, is that a dog? It might be a dog Facebook. I love it. Matt and Sean's. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great night. Bye.